found out about a research study at UNC that was working on diabetes research in rural areas, and I thought, that sounds like a good job. I'll try it. I didn't know what public health was at the time. I didn't know much about it, but then I realized as I was doing that job, I was like, oh, I really like that I'm out here helping people in communities. I feel that I'm actually making a difference. And after a couple years of working in that job, I realized that I wanted to pursue public health as a career. And so I started applying for master's programs in public health, and I found UGA, and I thought, I'm sure that I would love living in Athens, like I should apply here. And I got into UGA, and I decided that that was where I wanted to be. And I started my master's degree there in 2010, and I've just been at UGA ever since. It's the right size for me. So it's not too small, but it's also not too big, and it's just a beautiful town with a lot of things to do, a lot of really good food to eat, a lot of good culture. I love living in the town, and then I also love the school too. So working at the school and getting to meet all the students that I've met here, first of all, I discovered my love of running in Athens, and then I've made a lot of friends through that community too. So I not only have friends that I know from UGA and from my classes here at UGA, but I've made a lot of friends outside in the greater community of Athens, and that's what I really like about it. I really love food, and Athens has no shortage of great restaurants. Just off the top of my head, I love to go to the National when I can. I like the World Famous is another favorite spot of mine for food. I've been really enjoying, there's a new place called Puma Yu's, which is a cool Thai restaurant that I've found. I would say my favorite movie that I've seen at Cine is Everything Everywhere All at Once. That one, I went and saw that in theaters, and it really blew me away. One thing I can do that I've done that I really like is that I give students choices of things to read sometimes, and so that way they kind of control what they learn. They figure out what is interesting to them, and I think by being able to work online, or at least part online, I get to get a lot more in depth with the material, or the students get to get a lot more in depth with the material and engage with it really than they do in the classroom. And I think in some ways you can make it more interactive. A lot of times I will have them write opinions on certain stuff too, so that they develop their own way of thinking about it, as opposed to just reading and memorizing facts. I think it's really important that you engage students in critical thinking about the material, and that way they are sort of actively learning about it. Even though it's just an online class, they are actively engaging with the coursework and with the material, and I think that aids in their learning, and especially in an online course. When I set up online courses, I try to give them as many opportunities to engage with each other, whether that be through video discussions or through group projects where they have to, work with each other to achieve some sort of goal or some sort of outcome. I think that's also really important, because that can be hard with an online class when you're not directly engaging with people face to face. But I think if done right, you can get students to engage really well with each other. And especially maybe for some students, it may be that doing it online and not doing it in person may sort of open them up and make it easier for them to engage with other students. And I think as in teaching an online class, that may be something that you have to take advantage of there. So I actually have a lot of experience working both with administrators of substance use treatment centers, as well as working with people who are in treatment for substance use disorders. So my most recent research has been looking at either how environmental and social factors affect relapse in people that are in treatment for substance use disorders. And in that position, I loved that, because I really got to feel again like I was on the front lines of public health and working with this marginalized population of people who often don't get treated nicely by society. It was really nice to be able to hear their stories and hear what they've overcome. So I think one of our goals as an educational institution should be to help train people to not just like learn about public health, but to really engage with communities in public health and to learn about how to figure out what different populations, different communities need in terms of their health and in terms of what's a priority to them, how we can help them help themselves. My definition for success for students is them being able to grasp key public health concepts and use them in a way that can help whatever population they are working with.